Hey everyone, I hope you're well. This is the story about what if Naruto went to Sand Village and was raised by Tsunade. Before we start, please subscribe to the channel and like the video as well. I have created a playlist of this what if and other what ifs, make sure to check them as well. So without any further ado, let's start the what if. Then come close kid. Ninetales called not really expecting the boy to come close to the cage bars, but he was surprised when Naruto actually came close and stood exactly at the center of the seal facing the beast. Well. Ninetales started saying with a light laughter. I thought you were actually an intelligent kid after hearing the speech you just gave. But you're actually an idiot. Now die. Ninetales shouted the last two words and slammed his massive right paw on Naruto very hardly through the gap between the bars of the cage. In the real world, Lady Tsunade. Has Naruto-kun not woken up yet? Shizune asked her master who was in the kitchen when she still didn't find her brother running around the home. I guess not. Well, let him have his sleep. After all, today will be a busy day for him and for us too. Tsunade answered not turning back to look at her assistant and kept on working on the turkey chicken which is gonna be on the menu in the evening. Okay Lady Tsunade. It's just that I have this nagging feeling that he might be in danger. Shizune finally opened up on what was actually bothering her. Tsunade stopped working on the turkey chicken and turned around to look at her apprentice and put her hands on her shoulders to comfort her and said, You know him very well just as I do Shizune. He has the guts to stand against all the odds. Inside the 8 trigrams seal. I thought dealing with him would be a pain in the neck. But he is a lot dumb. Ninetales was interrupted from his bragging when he felt something under his paw. The huge paw of the Ninetales was being forcefully lifted even though the mighty beast kept applying pressure onto the paw. What? The beast can't help but shout in surprise. Naruto lifted the beast's paw all the way above his head and forced it backwards a little and then brought it back to his waist level and took hold of the paw in his hands with an iron grip, having an intense gaze all the time on his face. For a brief second the beast almost thought he saw Hashirama Senju in the place of the kid holding his paw. The beast tried his best to get his paw out from the blonde kid's grip, but when he could not get it out, just die. The beast shouted in frustration and threw its left paw, this time through the gap between cage bars, to smash the kid flat on the ground. But imagine his surprise when Naruto caught his other paw too with his right hand, and now both of his paws were stuck in the boy's hands. Naruto kept both of the beast's legs locked in an iron grip in his hands and looked straight into the eyes of the beast with such an intense anger that it made the mighty beast itself to worry a little and said in an ominous way, I trusted you. Then without any warning, the blonde kid in an unbelievable show of strength jerked both the legs that he held in his hands forward, forcing the beast's head to crash into the cage bars with a loud bang. What the hell are you? The beast shouted in surprise after having a first-hand experience of the incredible strength of the boy. He seriously wanted to rub his head, which was throbbing in pain, but the kid was still not letting his paws go. I really wanted to be your friend. Then he repeated the action again, causing another loud bang echoing throughout the seal. Stop it, you idiot! The beast shouted. I even tried to move forward from the fact that you killed my parents. Another loud bang. I said stop it. The beast shouted again in frustration and headache. You tried to kill me once and you try to kill me now too. Another loud bang. Okay. I'm sorry. Now let me go, you freak. The beast shouted at last, finally realizing that the boy won't let him go if he doesn't. Even if he wanted to retaliate, he can't due to the presence of the cage that is imprisoning him. Better, said the blonde, and then finally he let go of the beast's paws, which the beast immediately used to rub his aching head. I think our first meeting is a disaster. So, let's talk like civilized beings the next time. Naruto said, still feeling a little angry at the beast. I won't forget what you did, brat. Mark my words. I will never be your friend and I will tear you into thousands of pieces the first chance I get. The beast declared. You can try. The boy challenged and paused to release a sigh to cool his anger down, and a few moments later he continued again, Look. I said I want you to be my friend, but it's your choice. I won't force my ideals on you. That made the beast to pause and raise an eyebrow at the last sentence said by the boy standing against him. A few seconds later the beast replied again, Humans are all the same and you're nothing different, kid. Now, be gone. With that, Naruto woke up on his bed in real life. He decided that it will be best if he kept the meeting with the beast within a secret for now. No need to get his mother, sister, and uncle worried for nothing. That evening, soon the time for birthday celebrations had come and Shikamaru, Ino, Choji, Hinata, Kiba, Shino, Sakura, and even the duck-butt-haired Sasuke also showed up. Sasuke came alone, Hinata came along with her father Hayashi, whereas Shino came along with his father Shibi, and everyone else came with both of their parents. Naruto noticed that Sasuke was brooding in a corner alone, not really enjoying the party. So, he approached him and asked, "Why the long-faced duck butt? Shut it, dobe." Sasuke said in irritation at the joke on his hairstyle. "Alright, so what's the matter though?" the blonde probed. "My father tried to teach me our clan's signature jutsu, fire style, Great Fireball today, and I couldn't do it." Sasuke said and sighed before continuing again, "I think he's disappointed in me." Is that so?" Naruto said, rubbing his chin, and tried to sense Sasuke's chakra, and after 3 seconds he said, "Have you ever tried to learn a lightning-style jutsu before?" "What are you talking about, dobe?" Sasuke asked. "Well, duck butt. Try to learn some lightning-style jutsus from time to time. Who knows? Maybe they will come easily to you." Naruto said, shrugging his shoulders. "What are you going on about?" Sasuke shouted childishly and grabbed Naruto by his shirt collar in a playful way. "I will explain some other time, duck butt," Naruto said cryptically while poking the duck-butt-haired kid on his forehead with his index and middle fingers, which made the kid to leave his shirt. The blonde then walked away, leaving behind a confused Sasuke. "Oh, for God's sake. You're almost as complicated as my elder brother sometimes, dobe," was the frustrated shout from Sasuke. That night, on a cliff beside the Naka River, "You're the only one I can count on. My best friend," said a person standing near the edge of the cliff holding something very gently in his bloody left fist. He had both of his eyes closed and had blood coming out from his eye sockets. Then he offered his bloody hand to the other person who was standing in front of him and continued saying, "Protect the village and the Uchiha name. Both of them." And then he opened his bloody fist. In his palm he was holding a single ultimate Mangekyo Sharingan eye. The other person closed his eyes for a moment, understanding the gravity of the situation and the responsibility that is being placed on his shoulders now. From the distance a crow can be seen in the bright green light casted upon by the moon flying towards the two men. It approached the open bloody palm being held by the first person and took the Mangekyo Sharingan eye carefully in its talons and then disappeared in a burst of black crow feathers. The feathers then started to gently fall down, occupying the area surrounding the two men, creating a small breeze. "Alright. I accept it. What will you do now?" asked the person who had just accepted the Mangekyo Sharingan. "If I die, many things will change. But I left a note," the person who was still bleeding from his eye sockets said as he took some steps backwards towards the edge of the cliff. "Wait, don't try to stop me, Itachi," the person said, and took a pause just as he stood on the absolute edge of the cliff. He then had a genuine smile on his face and fell backwards in the Naka River from the top of the cliff by finishing his sentence, "If you're truly my friend, Shursue." The now identified Itachi shouted and made a mad dash to save his friend. But he couldn't reach Shursue Uchiha in time to grab him and witnessed his friend fall into the depths of the Naka River. He closed his eyes, letting the darkness consume him as he watched his friend die for what he believed in. "Shursue," muttered Itachi as he was still surrounded by the darkness. And then the darkness surrounding him was slashed open by the red glow of his blood tears and his newly awakened Mangekyo Sharingan. Leaf Village. Full moon night. Unknown location. A masked person with a dark cloak and a sword kept in his sash at waist level could be seen walking through the woods. His mask had a single eye hole with black stripes on it forming a flame pattern. "Hey!" came a voice from above the tree tops, which made the masked person to stop walking and turn around to face the new person who just jumped down from the tree tops. The new person was wearing the standard Anbo outfit of the Leaf Village. "There is something that I would like you to help me with," the Anbo told the masked person. Leaf Village. War Room. In the secret cabin within the War Room, the third Hokage and Danzo sat facing each other with a table placed in between them. Danzo stood up to leave after saying what he had to say. Wait, we haven't reached a conclusion, Hiruzen said as he also stood up. If the Uchiha are getting ready to act, then we are going to have to make our preparations as well. Danzo replied. Preparations only, Danzo? Hiruzen made sure to give an underlined instruction. Was Danzo's reply. Leaf Village. Anbu headquarters. Each and every Anbu available within the village were getting their equipment ready as they were instructed in Anbu HQ. They were not told what their mission is yet. It's an emergency alert. Level 1. Said an Anbu member with short brown hair wearing a mask that resembles a cat's face covered in green and red intricate markings to another Anbu member with spiky silver gravity-defying hair wearing a fox mask which had red and black markings around the eyes, sides, and mouth. The silver-haired Anbu nodded and instructed everyone else by relaying his command, get ready to move out. Hurry! Leaf Village. Leaf Police Force Headquarters. Near the entrance of the Uchiha Police Force Headquarters a swirling portal opened up and the masked person from earlier stepped out. Who are you? Demanded one of the Uchiha clan member who is on guard duty at the entrance. Leaf Village. Uchiha District. I shouldn't have stayed practicing shurikens with Naruto. I'm totally late, thought a 10-year-old Sasuke as he kept running towards his home in the Uchiha district. In mid-run he felt like someone was watching him from above, so he stopped to take a good look at the electric pole that was high above him placed at a few feet distance from his current position. What was that? I could have sworn that someone was there. Sasuke thought observing the normal-looking electric pole. But as soon as he looked down, the entire street of the Uchiha district was filled with the dead bodies of his clan members. These were corpses of the people he regularly saw, greeted, helped and even trained under sometimes. What is this? He screamed in terror looking at all the bodies. He recovered from his shock just a few seconds later when he realized something and started running towards his home shouting, "Oh no! Father and mother! Leaf Village!" On the way to Senju residence. Unlike his duck but haired friend who ran off in a hurry to his home after their training, Naruto kept walking towards his home in a relaxed pace. He had his hands folded behind his head as he kept walking all the while gazing at the moon in the sky. Evie who was walking beside him yipped when Naruto was about to crash into a tree as he was not looking where he was going. Naruto sidestepped the tree when he heard Evie and turned towards his companion. Evie yipped again like she asked a question. Yeah, I am getting distracted, Evie, sorry. It's just that I sense this ominous feeling and I can't shake it off from my head. After that he shrugged his shoulders and started walking again. But then he noticed a decent-sized, bright red and yellow-colored bird which was struggling to walk on the ground and it seemed to be injured. Even though he didn't know the name of the bird species, he decided to help the bird and approached it with Evie in tow. But then the bird looked like it was scared and tried to fly off. It flew some distance before landing down due to the injury. When it landed, Naruto tried to approach the bird again to help it. The bird kept on repeating the same process and kept on attracting Naruto towards a very certain location. Leaf Village. Uchiha District. Clan heads home. Ag! Sasuke shouted, desperately clutching his head, wishing for the brutal visuals in his head to stop. Stop it! Itachi, why are you showing me all this? Sasuke screamed at the top of his lungs and collapsed on the ground. Why? Pant, why did you? Pant, do all this? Itachi, why? Sasuke asked while panting without being able to keep his eyes open. Leaf Village. Leaf Police Force Headquarters. The windows of the Leaf Police Force Headquarters were broken in multiple places with too much blood stains on them. The masked person came out of the Leaf Police Force Headquarters after finishing off all those present inside the building. As soon as he stepped out of the building, 2 shurikens went right through him, seemingly not harming him, and got stuck in the wall beside him. The masked person turned to look at his attacker and found a 13-year-old female Uchiha with her Sharingan eyes activated and ready to attack him again. Oh! Such fine eyes! The masked man complimented the girl's Sharingan, seemingly not caring about her attack. The girl had long brown hair and was wearing a long-sleeved, high-collared purple shirt with the Uchiha clan symbol on the back, baggy blue pants, a shuriken hostler on her right leg, red armband on her left arm and a long purple fingerless glove that ran nearly the length of her arm. She threw 2 kunai this time towards the masked man, but like the shurikens earlier, the kunai also seemed to phase right through him and got stuck in the wall. No way, the girl mumbled to herself in terror as she saw her weapons phase right through him and not causing him any harm. She turned around and tried to run, in order to retreat for now. The masked person pointed his right hand towards the fleeing girl, and from his sleeves a black chain rushed forward and captured the girl, tightly binding her arms to her chest. He then dragged the girl towards himself. The girl was having tears as if she knew that these were her final moments. As she saw the masked person was ready to kill her, she desperately thought, "Help me, Itachi. Please help me. Leaf Village. Uchiha District. Oh, don't worry, Sasuke. You're not worth killing." Itachi turned around, not facing his brother who is about to fall into unconsciousness, and continued, "If you wish to kill me one day in hate and revenge, survive in such an unsightly manner as this, by all means flee. Cling to your wretched life." Then he took a pause to look at Sasuke with his Sharingan eyes over his shoulder and continued, "And then one day when you possess the same eyes, come back and face me." Those were the words that Sasuke was able to hear, and he thought he saw something else in Itachi before succumbing to unconsciousness. Few moments later. Leaf Village. Anbu HQ. "We're moving out," shouted Hiruzen to the assembled Anbu forces, who are divided into 2 squads. Danzo was also standing along with him on his right side. "Those on my team. To the Leaf Police Force headquarters," instructed Danzo to the squad on his right side. "My team. To the Uchiha District," instructed Hiruzen to the squad on his left side. "Leaf Village. Uchiha District." The Anbu squad with Hiruzen arrived too late, as the entire Uchiha clan were slaughtered, and all they could do was to get shocked looking at the aftermath of the massacre. "This is horrible. What happened?" These were some of the whispers coming from the shell-shocked Anbus. Hiruzen felt like he failed again and shouted his next orders to his Anbu: "Rescue anyone who still remains alive." Anbu nodded to his orders and scattered to do as they were instructed. Soon a purple-haired female Anbu wearing a mask that resembles a cat with 3 red stripes, 1 vertical stripe on the forehead and 2 horizontal stripes, 1 on each cheek, found Sasuke collapsed unconscious on the streets but still alive. "Lord Third. There's a survivor. Get him to the medical unit ASAP." Hiruzen ordered the purple-haired Anbu. Then he turned to address the other Anbus and commanded, "Search for all of the corpses, I mean every single one. Search the buildings too." Each and every Anbu present there with the Hokage nodded and left to do as they were ordered. Leaf Village. Leaf Police Force HQ. When Danzo and his Anbu team arrived at the Leaf Police Force HQ, there was carnage everywhere, and the entire building was filled with corpses of the Uchihas who were slain brutally. Everything was according to his plan, and all the corpses present there were recovered. But there was an anomaly in the scene that made him pause. The anomaly that caught his attention was a huge crater with almost 20 feet radius just outside of the building. The crater seemed like it was 6 feet deep. It was an anomaly in this scene according to him because there were no dead bodies in the crater, which seemed to be odd. After a few more minutes of thinking, he wrote it off as a collateral damage caused by a wrongly aimed jutsu. He then started walking towards the Uchiha District where Hiruzen is supposed to be. Leaf Village. Uchiha District. "Who do you think could have done something as monstrous as this?" asked the cat-masked Anbu member with short brown hair to the silver-haired fox-masked Anbu member. "Itachi Uchiha," answered another voice. Everyone present turned to look at the source of the voice and found Danzo walking in with his stick. Few moments later. Leaf Village, Uchiha District. "Lord Third. We have conducted a thorough search for any other survivors, but it seems that no one else made it, apart from one Sasuke Uchiha," the silver-haired fox-masked Anbu reported to Hiruzen after the Anbu team completed searching the district. Danzo smiled internally as his plan to secure the Leaf Village was successful, although with some minor disturbances. His happiness was cut short when suddenly someone else spoke up. "You're wrong. There is another survivor." Everyone turned to look at the source of the new voice and found Naruto supporting an injured Uchiha girl to stand. The girl looked like she had some injuries and was taking heavy breaths, but they are not life-threatening. Naruto had one of her hands slung over his shoulders and was helping her to walk towards the Hokage and his assembled Anbu. Danzo was seething internally cause now he must face headaches due to this girl surviving. Naruto-kun. What are you doing here? Hokage questioned in shock that the kid is present in an S-class secretive situation, but then he focused on the injured girl and immediately recognized the girl, Izumi. What happened? Don't you think that you should give her some medical treatment first before you ask her questions, old man? Naruto asked, irritated. Hiruzen felt like he was being admonished by his Tobirama-sensei all over again and immediately ordered the purple-haired female Anbu, give her the necessary first aid. The purple-haired Anbu nodded and went to help Izumi. Izumi had some scars on her hands, chest and back where she was attacked by the chains of the masked person. Naruto slowly allowed the female Anbu to take hold of Izumi, so she can get some first aid. Naruto-kun, now that she is getting medical aid. What are you doing here? Hiruzen asked, wanting to know why Naruto was here in the first place. Naruto tried to remember how he got there. Oh yeah. Now I remember. I was on my way back to home and I found this bird who couldn't fly. So, I followed it to help, some time ago. Before Danzo and his Anbu team arrived at the Leaf Police Force HQ. Help me, Itachi. Please help me, were the girl's thoughts as she saw the masked person getting ready to snap her neck with his right hand. She closed her eyes, letting her tears drop to the ground. The masked person tried to grab her neck, but suddenly his hand was grabbed by someone else so fast that he didn't have any time to react, and this new attacker threw him in the air holding his right hand so hard that it was crushed. Since he wanted to snap her neck, he had to become tangible, and that was why the attack got connected, and before the masked man can even think of making himself intangible again, a lightning-fast kick came from above him and landed right on top of his back. The force of the kick was so strong that the masked person's mind was clouded with pain and it was making him lose his concentration needed for the intangibility. In a state of shock and impact caused by the kick, his body was bent facing the ground where the kick connected, causing his hands to fly backwards in mid-air, which the attacker caught within his own hands, and then he kept his leg connected on top of his back and kept on applying even more pressure, all the while firmly locking his hands as he was rocketing down to his death. The masked man in the last moments of the fall tried desperately to concentrate on becoming intangible again even with his hands locked, but he couldn't help but try to look at his attacker from the corners of his eyes as he was doing so. What he saw made his eyes wide in terror as flashes of a fight that he had in the past kept playing in his mind. That hair. No. It can't be him. Fourth Hokage. With that frantic thought in mind, he was forced to make contact with the ground face first, with his attacker applying pressure onto him, making a huge crater right outside of the Leaf Police Force HQ, blowing up dust into the air. A 20 feet wide crater was formed with 6 feet in depth. Whoever this new attacker was, he purposefully made sure not to apply excessive force, so as to not kill the masked person. He wanted the masked person alive and captured for interrogation later. Izumi, who witnessed the newcomer, could not track the movements of him even with her Sharingan. But she was still in pain cause the chain was wrapped around her chest very tightly, so she was trying to take large gulps of air as the chain disconnected the moment the masked person was attacked. The new attacker was a child no more than 9 years old with bright blonde hair, wearing a silly-looking white dabbing monkey t-shirt and white shorts. After the dust settled, the kid was the only one in the crater, frowning as he couldn't see the masked person under his foot. Who? Pant, R. Pant, you. Pant, the kid turned around to the source of the voice only to find the masked person standing on the edge of the crater. He looked like he would collapse any time, and his right hand was melting down. How did you escape? The kid asked the masked person, but then he rubbed his chin like he was thinking for a second and thought to himself out loud, my attack was not fast enough. Wait. You're Naruto Senju. The masked man seemed to calm down now and looked like he doesn't even care about his melting right hand. Yup. And Evie, now it's your turn. The kid called. The masked man was interrupted before he could finish as his melting right hand was grabbed forcefully by a red fox that came out of nowhere and yanked it from his body with its teeth. As the hand melted away and was detached from his body and chakra network, he could not make that hand pass through things, which the fox capitalized on unknowingly. Okay, Evie. Good girl. Now we have the evidence. He scratched her behind her ears and turned back to look at the masked man and found him gone. Where did he go? Naruto asked no one in particular and then turned towards Izumi, who was still taking large breaths and looking at him in awe. "Oh wait. I am Naruto Senju," he said, helping Izumi to stand up on her feet. Once Izumi stood up, she replied, "Thank you, Naruto." "Pant, I am Izumi. Evie, get that hand to mom so she can have a look at it. And if that guy shows up again on your way, reverse summon me with our companion summoning seal," Naruto said while supporting Izumi. Evie nodded and ran off to the Senju residence with speed that was not normal for a red fox. After Evie ran off, Naruto focused on to find any nearby shinobi for help and found none, and not even Anbu were present here to do their regular rounds. That's odd. He thought out loud. "What do you mean?" "Pant," Izumi questioned. "No leaf shinobi is present in this sector," Naruto replied. But he then decided to leave the topic and decided to take Izumi to the Uchiha district for help. If only he knew what happened in the Uchiha district. Present time. Leaf Village. Uchiha district. And that's how me and her are here. I thought since she lives here someone would help her. But the situation here seems even more tragic," Naruto said remorsefully, looking at all the corpses. Hiruzen could not find out why Naruto is not reacting to the sight of dead bodies like how children his age are supposed to react. But he decided that it was a question for another time and decided to ask something else. "So Naruto-kun, you were able to maim the invader and were able to retrieve the evidence of his presence before making him flee?" "Yeah, I guess," he replied. But then he frowned, "But my attacks were not fast enough. I need more training." Naruto thought to himself out loud. What the hell? Izumi couldn't help but shout from her place when Naruto said that before hissing in pain and coughing. After coughing few more times, she continued again, "Your movements were not even trackable with my Sharingan. And you say you were not fast enough. Oh wait. Now that I think about it. That injured bird, where did it go?" Naruto thought out loud, seemingly ignoring the outburst of Izumi. Among all this commotion, no one observed the sudden disappearance of Danzo from the scene. Leaf Village. Unknown underground base. That Uchiha girl surviving the incident can cause a lot of issues for me, Danzo thought out loud. Lord Danzo. If you want to, we can finish her off within the hospital without anyone noticing, said Torine, one of the most loyal subordinates of Danzo. No, Torine. Before it was only the Uchiha, so we could have just wiped them off. But now the Senju clan heir is involved, and she is under the protection of Senju clan. I don't want us to do any stupid mistakes and draw on the wrath of the Slug Princess, the Hokage, the Fire Feudal Lord, and especially him. Him, asked Fu, another loyal subordinate of Lord Danzo. Naruto Senju. Danzo replied. Even if he couldn't capture whoever it is that he claims to have fought with, that kind of speed and strength are something that needs an observation, he thought out loud. Then Danzo turned to face Fu and Torine and ordered them, from now on keep an eye on Naruto Senju. See if he poses any threat to the Leaf Village, but make sure you do it from a safe distance, cause the rumor is that he is a very talented sensor who could surpass Tobirama Sensei one day. So, don't let yourselves to be sensed by him. As you wish, Lord Danzo. Both Fu and Torine replied as one and left to do as they were told. Border of the Land of Fire. Itachi had just crossed the borders of the Land of Fire and was waiting at the supposed rendezvous point for the masked man. Soon a swirling portal opened up before him and the masked person stepped out from the portal. In Itachi's opinion, the masked man looked like he had seen better days and he was missing hand too. What happened? Itachi couldn't help but ask. Caught off guard, that's all, was the reply Itachi got in return. Itachi just rose an eyebrow and decided to leave it and asked. I'm not sure you have told me what to call you yet. Oh, forgive me. Where are my manners? The masked person said with a mock bow and continued, for now you can call me Toby. 3 days after the inevitable night. Leaf Village. T&I room. What do you remember about the events that happened on the night when the entire Uchiha clan was massacred apart from just 2 people? Questioned Ibiki Marino. I heard the screams for help coming from the Leaf Police Force HQ. So, I went there to investigate and found the possible culprit of the crime and tried to eliminate him. Izumi answered truthfully. And Ibiki probed. He was unaffected by all of my attacks and almost killed me until Naruto Senju intervened and made him flee. Izumi responded. Do you know why only the Uchiha clan was targeted and why the Uchiha clan members kept on taking less and less missions outside the village from the last few months? Ibiki asked his next question. He had this question in his mind cause as a top-class interrogator of the Leaf Village, he catches on to things that are invisible for the others. He started digging as soon as he was given the duty to investigate this case and found that Uchiha clan members had started refusing missions outside the village from the last few months before the massacre. Also, those Uchiha clan members who were outside the village on missions have completed their missions sooner than expected and came back to the village. For Ibiki, it felt like the Uchiha clan was preparing for something, but for what he does not know. I don't know. Izumi replied. You don't know? Ibiki asked. I was never allowed into the clan meetings cause almost all the members of the clan don't view me as an Uchiha. Izumi said with a sigh. Why? Ibiki questioned in return. My mother was an Uchiha, but she fell in love with someone outside the clan and married him. Members of the Uchiha clan didn't find her choice as worthy of the Uchiha and she was evicted from her home located in the Uchiha clan district. Izumi explained. I'm sorry for asking again. But you were living within the Uchiha clan district even before you started going to the ninja academy, right? Ibiki asked. Yes. Izumi said. If they expelled your mother from her property, then why did they take you back in? Ibiki probed. Because I had awakened my Sharingan. Absolute silence. As far as Ibiki knew, Shisui was by far the youngest to awaken his Sharingan, and then second was Itachi, who awakened his Sharingan at the age of 8 after becoming a genin. But to learn that Izumi had awakened her Sharingan even before Itachi was a shocker for him. You awakened your Sharingan before joining the ninja academy? Ibiki asked, genuinely surprised. Yes. I witnessed my father and mother sacrifice themselves to save me and many others during the Nine Tails attack. Uchiha clan then took me in as a clan member. I originally thought that they wanted to take care of me since I lost both of my parents. Ibiki caught on to what she meant by that and asked, so, isn't that the reason why they took you in then? No. They took me in because they were the first to find out that I had awoken my Sharingan as early as Shisui Uchiha and thought that I could also become a genius like him. She took a pause to release a tired sigh and then continued again. They wanted a possible future genius like me to be under the name of the Uchiha clan only. That's why they took me in and suppressed all the information about me awakening my Sharingan early to cover up their real agenda behind suddenly taking me in after a long time from my mother's banishment from the clan district. She then chuckled to herself and said, it almost makes me laugh at remembering how naive I used to be back then when I was still a child to think that I still had people to take care of me. If they had took you into the clan as an Uchiha with whatever motive they had, why were you not allowed to the clan meetings then? Ibiki questioned. This was all new information to him. The longer he kept digging into the case of the Uchiha massacre, the deeper the rabbit hole keeps getting. I was an Uchiha, only in name for them. I was always treated like an outsider by almost all of them. Almost. There were a few exceptions like Shisui and Itachi, who treated me like one of their own. It was actually Shisui that revealed to me about the true intention of the clan behind accepting me as an Uchiha. He informed me about this just a few days before committing suicide. Izumi replied. Ibiki nodded and said, so you were never allowed into the Uchiha clan meetings and don't know anything about why only the Uchiha clan was targeted and why the Uchiha clan members were refusing to take missions outside the village? Yes. Was Izumi's reply. Ibiki nodded and turned to Inoichi Yamanaka, who had his right hand resting on top of Izumi's head the entire time to make sure whether she is telling the truth or not. She's telling the truth. Inoichi confirmed her truthfulness and removed his hand. Ibiki and Izumi were seated facing each other with a medium-sized table separating them, whereas Inoichi was standing near Izumi. The entire conversation was being monitored by the Hokage, Shinobi Council, which includes Tsunade and the village elders from the council room. The Shinobi Council were called upon today and were informed just before the commencement of this process that there was another person involved in the massacre and that Naruto had fought him. Ibiki nodded after hearing Inoichi's response and turned towards Izumi. I am sorry that you had to go through this process, Izumi. But it's the only way to find out what actually happened on that night and why Itachi and some other unknown person had massacred the entire Uchiha clan. I understand, Ibiki-san. Izumi replied. Before I release you from this room, you must remember that all the persons who have witnessed that night, involved in that night, fought in that night, or even survived that night must keep it a secret that Naruto Senju had fought the unknown invader and made him flee. If this information gets leaked into the population, then it will pose a major threat to Naruto Senju. That's why Hokage-sama had classified any and all information regarding the unknown masked invader and his fight with Naruto Senju as an S-class village secret until the whereabouts of the masked invader are known. If anyone asks how you have survived the massacre, then you should say that you were attacked by Itachi Uchiha and you were left there in a pool of your own blood after your battle because Itachi thought that you died already, and in the aftermath when the Anbu arrived at the location, they have found you to be still alive and rescued you like how they have rescued Sasuke Uchiha. Is that clear? Yes. Izumi replied because she was already briefed about how Itachi massacred many Uchiha clan members and she understood that it should be kept secret until the truths of the night and the real reason why Itachi turned into a killer are found. Ibiki nodded and stood up from his seat. Both him and Inoichi left the room, leaving the door open for Izumi to leave after them. After few seconds, Izumi also stood up and exited the room to go back to the council room to finish this process. Few moments later. Leaf Village. Council room. Hokage-sama. Izumi Uchiha is awaiting your permission to enter the council room. Came the voice of Hiruzen's assistant through the intercom. Hiruzen pressed a button on intercom and replied, "Please send her in." A few seconds later Izumi entered the council room. Hiruzen gave a fatherly smile to her and said, "How are you feeling now, Izumi?" "I feel fine now, Hokage-sama. But it might take a day or two for me to get back into active duty." Izumi replied, "Take as much time as you want." Hiruzen said, to which Izumi nodded. "I am sure Ibiki already told you about keeping it a secret." Hiruzen said, to which Izumi nodded. He then turned towards the assembled Shinobi Council and said, "As all of you have already heard Ibiki explaining it to Izumi to keep it classified as an S-class secret, you all are also required to keep it classified. You are also to say the same thing that was told to Izumi if anyone asks you how she survived. You are to keep it as an absolute secret even from your own kids. Is that clear?" To which the council members nodded agreeing. Hiruzen then turned towards Tsunade and asked, "Has Naruto been informed to keep this as a secret?" "Yes. He had promised to keep it classified." Tsunade assured. "All right. Any information on the severed hand of the invader?" Questioned Hiruzen. "I still need to conduct some more thorough research on it before I can submit the report." Tsunade said, to which Hiruzen nodded agreeing. He then turned to Izumi and said, "Now that the process is over, where do you want to live from now on, Izumi? Would you want to use your mother's home in the Uchiha clan district, or would you like to apply for an apartment in the Shinobi quarters instead?" "My mother's home in Uchiha clan district makes me think about all those days that I was looked upon as an outsider," Izumi said with a small crack in her voice. "I understand, Izumi. I will complete the paperwork for your APA." Hiruzen couldn't finish as he was interrupted by Tsunade, who said, "Actually, I have a proposal for Izumi." "Tsunade?" Hiruzen questioned. "I want to take her under my wing if she agrees to it, and she can live in the Senju residence with us." That statement caused some murmurs among the assembled people. "With all due to respect, Tsunade-sama, can I ask why?" Izumi asked with a respectful tone. "I have seen your potential in." Tsunade started to say, but as soon as Izumi heard the word potential, she interrupted Tsunade by saying, "I'm sorry, Tsunade-sama. I don't wish to become a part of your clan just because you see a potential future Sharingan genius in me. I have already been through this once." Izumi thought that Tsunade is also trying to get a possible future Sharingan genius under Senju clan because she had most probably found out that Izumi had awakened her Sharingan earlier than Itachi. "Who said anything about you joining the Senju clan?" Tsunade questioned without any emotion. Was Izumi's intelligent reply. "I said I will take you under my wing only to train you and that you can live in the Senju residence. I didn't say anything about you joining the Senju clan." Tsunade replied with a straight face. Izumi felt embarrassed that she misinterpreted the female Sanin's words, but she couldn't help but ask, "Then what did you mean by saying that you have seen my potential?" Why is it that everyone among the Uchiha clan always feel like they are being talked about only because of their Sharingan prowess? Tsunade muttered out loud, which made Izumi to feel even more embarrassed. Then Tsunade just released a sigh and continued, "Anyway. As I was saying earlier before you decided to interrupt me, I have seen your potential in becoming a combat medic when I was going through your records from the academy. You have near-precise chakra control. So, I wanted to take you under my wing to train you as a combat medic." It was Izumi's childhood dream to become a combat medic when she saw many people dying after the Nine Tails attack due to lack of professional medic help. But she had to leave behind that dream when she joined the Uchiha clan, because she does not want to look even more of an outsider to the clan members who always looked down on the people who wanted to become medics instead of war veterans in clan. But before Izumi can answer, Tsunade said again, "But since you consider my training as joining the Senju clan, never mind." No. 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 Lady Tsunade, wait, I didn't mean that. Of course, I want to get training under a legendary Sannin like you as a combat medic. Please forgive me for drawing baseless conclusions before you could even complete saying what you actually wanted to say. Izumi said in a hurry without missing a beat and bowed her head respectfully to show how apologetic she was feeling for her own childishness. So, would you like to train under my wing or not? Tsunade questioned again just to confirm. Yes, Lady Tsunade. Izumi replied without a second thought. Alright then. Izumi Uchiha from now on will be living in the Senju residence to get trained in the ways of a combat medic, said Hiruzen, and was about to write Izumi's full name on a document to transfer her responsibility to Tsunade as her guardian. Hokage-sama, I would like to request you to cut off the title Uchiha from my name from now on. Izumi requested, which caused murmurs again. She wants to leave behind the Uchiha clan name. Why would she want to do something like that? Those were some of the murmurs among the people. Why do you want to remove your clan name? Hiruzen asked, genuinely surprised. Before I was an Uchiha, only in name. I was surrounded by many, but still I was all alone. So, there's no need for me to keep on lying to myself anymore that people will acknowledge me only if I was called as Izumi Uchiha. I just want to live my life truthfully like Izumi from now on. It took a few moments for the people before her to understand what she meant, but then each and every one present there realized what the girl had experienced all her life after joining the Uchiha clan. Finally, Hiruzen nodded with a fatherly smile and said, I understand. He then took a small pause to complete writing in 2 documents and stamped them with the Hokage seal, and then he continued, Izumi from now on will be living in the Senju residence to get trained in the ways of a combat medic under the care of Tsunade Senju. Izumi accepted the copy of the document that Hiruzen gave her. Hiruzen then gave the other copy to Tsunade and turned towards Izumi again. You can take the help of a Genin squad to help you with the furniture shifting. Just consult the mission desk and the mission pay will be paid by the Shinobi Council. Izumi nodded, accepting the offer, and questioned, Is that all, Hokage-sama? Yes, you can go, Izumi. Hiruzen replied. After Izumi had left the council room, well, that's a lot of new information about the Uchihas to digest. Such a drag, muttered Shikaka Nara. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, comment down below and let me know. Also share this video with your friends. I have created a playlist of this what if where you guys can find all the parts. See you in the next video.